The old wooden house stood at the end of a quiet road, surrounded by tall trees that whispered whenever the wind passed through them. Most people in the small town of Willow Creek rarely walked near it anymore. Not because it was dangerous, but because it reminded them of someone they had lost. Inside that house had once lived an old man named Mr. Thomas Whitaker. For nearly 40 years, he had been the town's clockmaker. Every clock in Willow Creek, every ticking wall clock, in shops, every antique timepiece in homes had passed through his small workshop at least once. He was known as a quiet man, kind, patient, but mysterious. He rarely spoke about his past, and no one had ever seen family members visit him. One winter morning, the town awoke to sad news. Mr. Whitaker had passed away peacefully in his sleep. It was 83 years old. The news spread quickly. People gathered outside the small house, sharing memories of the man who had quietly fixed their clocks for decades. After the funeral, the town council faced a question. What should be done with his house? Since Mr. Whitaker had no known relatives, the property legally belonged to the town. The council decided to sell it, but before that could happen, someone had to clean the house. That responsibility fell to Emma Lawson, a young librarian who volunteered for many community projects. Emma had always liked Mr. Whitaker. When she was a child, he once repaired her grandfather's pocket watch for free. "Time is too precious to charge for," he had said with a soft smile. Now, years later, Emma stood at the door of his quiet house, holding a small ring of keys. The air outside felt unusually still. She unlocked the door and stepped inside. The house smelled faintly of wood and old paper. Sunlight slipped through dusty windows, revealing shelves filled with clocks of every shape and size. Grandfather clocks, tiny desk clocks, ornate brass clocks, each one ticking at a slightly different rhythm. The sound filled the room like a strange orchestra of time. Emma slowly walked through the workshop. Everything looked exactly as Mr. Whitaker had left it. His glasses rested on the workbench. Small screwdrivers and tools lay neatly arranged beside unfinished clock parts. It felt as if he might return any moment. Emma began organizing the house. She carefully packed tools, sorted papers, and cleaned dusty shelves. Hours passed quietly. Then she noticed something unusual. In the corner of the workshop stood a large wooden cabinet. It looked older than everything else in the room. The wood was dark and worn, and a small lock hung from its door. Emma front. She didn't remember seeing this cabinet when she visited years ago. Curious, she searched through the keys until one finally turned the lock. The cabinet door creaked open slowly. Inside, there was only one object, a small wooden box. It was beautifully carved, decorated with delicate patterns and tiny symbols that Emma didn't recognize. She lifted it carefully. It was heavier than it looked. On the top of the box were 3 words carved deeply into the wood. For the right person. Emma's curiosity grew stronger. She sat at the workbench and gently opened the lid. Inside, she expected to find money or jewelry or something valuable. But instead, there were letters, dozens of them, carefully organized with small ribbons. Each letter had a name written on the front. Emma slowly picked one up. Tinamarid, Daniel Carter. She didn't recognize it. She picked up another. Maria Lopez. Another. Samuel Green. The names meant nothing to her, but something about the letters felt important. She opened one carefully. Inside was a handwritten message. The handwriting was neat, but slightly shaky. It read, "If you are reading this, it means someone believed you deserved to know the truth. You may not remember me, but many years ago our lives crossed for a brief moment. I helped you when you needed it most, and I asked for nothing in return. Now it is your turn to help someone else." Emma felt a strange chill run through her body. She opened another letter. The message was similar. Each letter described a moment in someone's life when Mr. Whitaker had helped them. Sometimes he had paid a hospital bill anonymously. Sometimes he had bought food for a struggling family. Sometimes he had secretly paid school tuition for a child who could not afford it. But in every letter, there was the same request: pass the kindness forward. Emma sat back, stunned. The quiet old clockmaker had been helping people in secret for decades. The box wasn't filled with money or treasure. It was filled with stories of kindness. She continued reading. Each letter described a life that had been changed. A student who became a doctor. A single mother who started a successful business. A young man who overcame addiction. All of them had received help from Mr. Whitaker at their lowest moment, and all of them had been asked to do the same for someone else. Emma realized something extraordinary. Mr. Whitaker hadn't just repaired clocks. He had quietly repaired lives. The next day, Emma brought the box to the town council. Together, they decided to contact the people named in the letters. Over the following weeks, something incredible happened. People began arriving in Willow Creek. From different cities, different states, different backgrounds. Each one had received a letter from the mysterious box. And each one had a story. One man explained how Mr. Whitaker had paid his college tuition when he was about to drop out. A woman revealed that the clockmaker had secretly covered her hospital bills after a terrible accident. Another person said Mr. Whitaker once gave him a small loan that helped him start his first business. None of them had ever known that others had received the same kindness. Until now. The town realized that the quiet old man they thought they knew had lived a life far greater than anyone imagined. Emma eventually placed the wooden box inside the town library. But it wasn't just a display. People were invited to add their own letters. Stories of kindness they had received, and stories of kindness they had given. Over time, the box filled again and again. Years later, visitors still came to see it. Tekadit Itakainis box. Because the real secret inside the box was never money or treasure. It was something far more powerful. The reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can change someone's life forever. And sometimes, the greatest secrets are the ones that quietly make the world better.